Nerding on the Dbacks! Woo!
Hello, welcome back to Nerding on the Dbacks. It's been a week.
Yeah, almost a week, not quite, but yeah. So I'm Dad / Chris, barely on camera here.
Phoenix / Sven, Bullseye. I got a lot of names here.
That's right. Yeah, with that little man, we're gonna talk about that little man a little bit here, but you know what the big news is? Spring training for the D-backs.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, they got started here, pitchers and catchers anyway, no games, but we've got some videos of guys throwing and working out, some people in attendance. We won't be going because the reason we're getting this out and hopefully getting this to you beforehand is I'm having knee surgery tomorrow, Friday. I tore my MCL, grade 2 level, and that was back in August. I also tore some cartilage, which is what I'm having the surgery for. The MCL is healed, but it's just from playing a lot of sports in my 40s. But the craziest part is when I actually tore the MCL and the cartilage. Do you remember what I was doing, Phoenix?
Well, it's right there. You were making the bed.
That's right. I was making my bed and I tore my MCL. It's crazy. I'm sure I had like a grade 1 already going on and I didn't really notice it. And then it just completely ripped in the process of making my bed. But yeah, that's been like 6 months ago and finally getting certain surgery done for the cartilage. So.
When you ripped it, did you like lay on the floor in like pain and stuff?
No, but I certainly was just like, oh, something bad just happened. I absolutely, it was rough. I could barely get myself back down the stairs afterwards. And I went and sat on the couch and I told your mom. Yeah, so this is going to be, being that I'm getting surgery, this is going to be the last episode we're going to do in the next 2 to 4 weeks. It's going to be a little while until we're back, but wanted to get one last one out, squeeze this in before I go under the knife, and I'm bedridden.
We're very sorry about that. But
yeah,
I can't do it by myself.
So into some personal stuff. We had a little bit more illness in the house this past week. You were sick.
It was
for
bad, guys.
Super Bowl Sunday for the second year in a row.
In a row.
Yeah, this one was definitely worse than last year, though.
Oh, yeah. I just had a headache last year.
Yeah,
this year I was...
Yeah, migraine, but yeah. Yeah, this year it was a little bit... We thought we actually had food poisoning, and then a couple days later, me and Limerick got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and the little man got it, and... constant illness. I know you guys probably hear it a lot from us about how people are sick in this home. When you got life with young kids, that is just the way it goes. If you're a parent out there with young kids, or you had young kids once upon a time, you know what I'm talking about. Just lots of sickness. And today, in celebration of your brother, we had a birthday. Birthday party for him. So, my parents came down from Minnesota, and they came to celebrate his birthday with us, and then also to hang around and help out around the house while I'm bedridden for the next couple of weeks after surgery, so that your mom doesn't have to do everything on her own. Yep. That's awesome that they're here. Love having them in town. I'm barely going to get to see them, but I love that they're here and they get to spend time with you boys. And then also my aunt and uncle are down here in the Phoenix area visiting family and other family, not us necessarily, but they came over. We get to see them a couple of times while they visit most winters. And so they came over to celebrate Limerick's birthday, which was awesome. It was such a fun day.
It was really fun.
And
all he wanted to do was open the presents.
And he was so patient about it too. It was very impressive. My aunt and uncle just kept commenting, wow, I can't believe how patient you are waiting, Limerick. You're doing so good. It was pretty incredible. You did great. And so, yeah, and you finally, after a 3-week layoff due to all the rain that we've been having.
God, it was so bad.
You get to go out and play some baseball again on Saturday. Finally. It's going to be awesome. And I'm super sad because I'm going to miss it. You finally get to go play again, and I cannot leave the house after getting surgery. I'm not getting major surgery, just for you guys out there. It's 2 incisions, one right above the knee, one on the inside, just arthroscopic, but it's recovery is going to be a long road. Presumably 3-4 weeks. 3-4 months, maybe 5 months of physical therapy to get it back. So,
you.
But then I'll get to do all the cool things again with you boys, and maybe even go play sports again, because it's been a long layoff for me. I've never been this sedentary in a long time.
You might want to take the highway. You're gonna ride it all night.
I was wondering where you were going with that. Nice.
Yeah, that was tough there.
That was awesome. That was really well done. So let's talk some D-backs though. Just, one spring training note really, and that's about it. The gink.
The gink, the sting. Oh God.
We almost went there again. It's gonna happen once more, but not right now, because the gink is dealing with some elbow soreness.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's nothing serious. We're told they did some imaging and it came out looking clean. He's just gonna be ramping up slowly this spring, but he should be ready for opening day if all goes well. So that's gonna be. Hopefully that's the case. That's our, I know Sewald's the closer of the team. He's the anchor of the bullpen, but who are we kidding? He's not really the anchor of the bullpen. Ginkel is the anchor of the bullpen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know what kind of imaging they do for something like that, Phoenix?
I've never searched that up.
They do what's called an MRI. That's actually what I had done.
Oh, I think I know what an MRI is.
Yeah, that's actually what they did when they looked at my knee.
They just do like a whole body scan, right?
No, they just kind of do the area. So they probably just had him. I don't know if they would have him put his arm. I don't know if anyone watching this knows the answer to this, but they might just have him put his arm up and they just kind of scan his arm, or it might just be off to the side. Like when they did my knee, they just put like my lower half of my body inside the MRI machine. The MRI machine is like this giant tube that looks like something out of Star Trek or Star Wars, and you get pushed into it and pulled out. And it's really loud. They gave me earplugs and earmuffs because it is so loud in that thing. So yeah.
Did you hear anything, or is it like just a little muffled?
You can still hear it. It's
really
so
badly?
loud. It's fairly loud. Still with all of that ear protection, it is fairly loud. It's kind of crazy. If you've never had an MRI,
don't get one.
Once you reach oldness like me, you will start getting MRIs. I've had a few of them now at this stage of my life, and it is a loud. I mean, it's not weird or anything. It's just loud.
They need to update technology and just have like very, very big noise canceling headphones, and they let you play like a song in there.
Yeah, it's just white noise. Just like you just have like a ceiling fan with some rain.
And then it shows.
Yeah. And then you hear boom, boom in the background while you're still in there. Yeah. So anyway, he got an MRI done, and you know what else is a crazy fact about MRIs? You know the balloons Limerick had for his birthday today?
Yeah.
What are they filled with?
Helium.
Yeah. So MRI machines use helium.
That's why they're so loud.
And high pitched? No, it's not high pitched at all. But actually,
no. But balloons, like when you pop them, they're loud.
You could go ahead and look this up. It's kind of crazy. We have a helium shortage on Earth, and we don't know exactly how long that's going to last. And they're looking for like a synthetic compound to use because it's part of the reason why helium for hot air balloons for balloons, not hot air balloons, has gotten expensive over the last few years because we've realized we've got a shortage of helium, and we need that helium from MRIs. It's a little more important than birthday balloons.
Yeah,
just a little
bit.
So yeah, crazy MRI information there for everybody in helium.
Having a kid inhale the helium is a little bit less important than seeing if you have a teared ACL, MCL.
Yeah, or anything else. A brain injury.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H, I, J, K, L, C, L.
Yeah, that one. I don't think there's an LCL, but I could be wrong. UCL, PCL. It could all be in existence. So
MCL.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, and just all of the soft tissue injuries in general.
How many L's are there in here?
So there's a lot of ligaments in your body. That's what the L stands for, ligaments.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's talk let's move on to the next topic of the day. The Diamondbacks are reportedly still looking for a right-handed hitter. They want a right-handed bat. And I'm guessing, everyone out there is guessing, it's probably going to be an outfielder. There's no real reason why they would get an infielder who bats right-handed. They got enough guys around the infield. They got Lawler still coming up who can bat right-handed. Lawler, Perdomo, basically their entire infield bats right-handed or switch hitting, except for Jace Peterson. And so
Jace Peterson?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's two Petersons?
Yeah, one's with a T and one's with a D.
What?
They spell their names different.
Oh God, this is too much for me.
Yeah. So Jace Peterson, he spells it with a T, Peter.
They're both JP.
Jock spells it, yeah. And Jock spells it Peder.
How have I never known this?
Yeah, so there's a fair, yeah.
God, that's gonna be awkward.
Jace is he's in a competition for, we'll call it the 13th position player spot on the roster.
Because like, what if like Ketel Marte's like saying, "Hey Peterson," and then they both respond and they're like, both like what? Like which one? And then it's just awkward
it's
there.
Like you, me, you, me, you, me, you, him. You talking about him, me, him, me.
It's like that Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So they're probably looking for an outfielder, or just a bat. I guess it could be just someone who hits, but likely someone who could also play the outfield if needed. And there were three guys mentioned in particular: Randall Grichuk,
oh God,
Tommy Pham, and Adam Duvall.
Duval.
And so let's break down these guys just a little bit here. Randall Grichuk, frankly, the reason this is going to be what's called a short side platoon player. Okay,
Platoon.
So he's going to be they call it the short side platoon because a platoon means two players.
Because they play shortstop.
Well, no, one player bats against right-handed pitchers, usually a left-handed hitter, and one player bats against left-handed pitchers, usually a right-handed hitter. And so they have Jock Peterson now on the roster, and he smashes right-handed pitching. So they need what's called a short side platoon player to match with Jock Peterson. And so that is going to be presumably, and if he can play the outfield, if he can go and play right field once in a while and give Alec Thomas a day off, and they can move Carroll to center field against lefties, and they could work it that way too. And they could give Moreno some time in the lineup that way, potentially. So they at DH, and so they could go this route of getting a left-handed or a right-handed hitting outfielder, but it could really just be a bat. So it could just be anybody who hits well. It's just most of the good, inexpensive hitters left on the free agent market at this point are all outfielders. And so Randall Grichuk, he hits left-handed pitching really well. His entire career, he's smashed left-handed pitching. Last year, he had a 155 OPS versus OPS plus, work plus versus left-handed pitching, which is absolutely astounding. Like,
why is it so astounding? Why is it like super?
Yeah, so
like the best.
So for comparison, let's just look at like a player like Mike Trout, right? Mike Trout's a right-handed hitter. I'm not gonna go look at like the best players like a Shohei Ohtani, but let's look at someone like Mike Trout. And Mike Trout had a very good hitting season last year, and Mike Trout had a 109 versus left-handed pitching. Now he still had a 138. So Mike Trout was essentially an all-star level batter last year, wow. and he's still versus left-handed pitching, Grichuk hit better than Trout did as a hitter, wow. As a total hitter. So
as like a total hitter?
Yeah. So Grichuk crushes lefties. He's very good at it. He'd be a good fit for this team. He's also going to be, that said, he is kind of terrible against right-handed pitching to the point of he's almost unplayable against right-handed pitching. But they don't really need him for that. He's got one job: smash lefties. That's going to be it if he's on this roster. So
if he didn't verse, if they just banned lefties from the league, he would be
what a bigoted thing to do.
I mean, they would be like the NFL, the no fun league.
The no fun league.
Yeah.
No,
let me finish.
Okay.
So he would be very bad, and he wouldn't even play Double A. What'd you say?
No, he wouldn't be in the league anymore. Most likely, if there were no lefties to smash. That part's
that
true.
Sounds really bad out of context. Like
he also, so in addition to smashing lefties,
oh Jesus,
he's also a solid corner outfielder. Like, he can still play defense. He can throw it. He'd make a good right fielder. And you wouldn't be worried about having him out there. So he could give like, we discussed, give Thomas or even Carroll some time off versus left-handed pitching. Even if it was just to go DH, like with Carroll, they're not going to DH Thomas, but against lefties. But they'd maybe DH Carroll against lefties if they kept Thomas in center. So, so that's on the table. The other guy, Pham, they have been in talks with Pham despite Slapgate. And so Pham is a known quantity. Honestly, Tommy Pham is one of his clubhouse reputation in Arizona is absolutely fantastic, and you know what you're going to get from him. He can hit left-handed pitching fairly well. He hits right-handed pitching okay. He's not good in the outfield. I mean, you can put him in right field if necessary, but you'd want to minimize his time out there. The problem with Tommy Pham is he's a serial underperformer of his StatCast expected numbers. And what that means is he always, if you go to his StatCast page every season, it's got a lot of red, and he never ever hits up to the level that his StatCast numbers show that he should. I don't know why that is.
Wow.
There are some guys like that. Max Kepler of the Twins is a fantasy darling. Every year, guys in fantasy baseball have been like, this is the year Max Kepler is going to break out. Look at this StatCast page. It's incredible. There's no way that this can continue. And it continues every year. and he just constantly has disappointed until last year. Something finally clicked, and maybe that happens with Tommy Pham. Maybe Tommy Pham finally clicks, and he gets it together, and he plays up to his expected numbers. But I wouldn't bank on it. One thing I didn't mention about Grichuk that is a big benefit is he's probably going to be the lowest cost of all of these guys we mentioned.
What would you say would be
he's probably
the max for his contract?
Grichuk would probably be like a $2 million player, $2.5 million player. He's not going to be much. Fam's probably somewhere around like 4. 3 or 4. Not a lot more, but a little bit more.
Remind us how much they like. That would be safe to spend on any player.
I mean,
the max.
Regardless of who they roster, they're paying $700 we'll just round it and say they're paying $800,000 to anyone that they roster, even if it's like a AAA guy that they bring up. So spending, say they get Grichuk for $2 million, he only really costs like $1.2 million more than playing Jake McCarthy, for example, rostering him. Getting Grichuk or any of these guys probably sends Jake McCarthy to AAA to start the season. So having McCarthy there, though, available, I don't really think they need to keep McCarthy. I still think he's probably expendable just from a roster construction standpoint, and also set him free. Like I know I mentioned this before on the show, but just trade McCarthy somewhere. Let the man go start in center field for some team for 120 games and show Major League Baseball what he's got, because I think he would be great. He's just not as good as Alek Thomas or Corbin Carroll, which is no knock on the guy. Alek Thomas and Corbin Carroll are absolute studs at their positions, right? Like, I mean, they're great. That's a big, really high bar, those two. And so McCarthy would still probably be the starting center fielder for 8, 10, 12 teams in Major League Baseball if he was on their squad. So just give him that opportunity to go play somewhere and be the starter and get his payday in a few years when he hits arbitration, because with the Diamondbacks, he's just not going to get that opportunity. And so if they can bring it back anything of value for McCarthy, they really should. But this isn't about McCarthy. This is about those right-handed hitters. And so Tommy Pham, he probably will cost a little bit more. I kind of put these guys in order of what their expected contract cost would be.
Okay.
And so Tommy Pham would be a little bit more expensive. If you're just looking at a roster fit, Grichuk makes the most sense because he hits lefties the best and he's the least expensive, which is kind of a combination of things that the Diamondbacks need. Like, they prioritize at this point because their payroll is at their personal team record level already. It's the highest it's been in team history, and so I just don't know how much further they have to go. So then we move on to Adam Duvall. Adam Duvall is a really good fielder. He's the best fielder of these three. He can even play center field if needed. He won a Gold Glove in center field like 3 seasons back.
Man, he can really do all.
He can do all. But it's completely unnecessary with this roster when you got a roster with Thomas, with Carroll, and as of right now, McCarthy, and even Barossa sitting in the minors. You really I can't imagine he would ever play center field. Or I should say, I can't imagine he'd ever start in center field. He wouldn't play more than a few innings scattered around the season if they had him. The problem with Duvall is he's got pretty much even splits. He doesn't really hit lefties he doesn't hit lefties really any better than he hits righties. And he's more expensive than Pham and Grichuk. I just don't see Duvall as a good fit on this team. I know he gets mentioned, but they need someone who could smash left-handers, essentially to platoon with Jock, like I mentioned before, whether that means platooning with him directly as a DH or platooning with him by moving out to right field and sitting Thomas on the pine versus lefties, and getting somebody else in like Manuel Rivera or Jordan Lawler or Suarez or just any number of their infielders that they could use to hit lefties out of the DH role. And that brings us to, or even Kevin Newman, honestly, getting him in the lineup versus lefties. He'd be a good fit if that's the case. And that brings us to what I kind of mention as the dark horse. I don't think this is going to happen, but they could also sign Michael A. Taylor. Michael A. Taylor.
Oh, I see. I was like, who's Matt?
Matt. Michael A. Taylor. Yeah, he's referenced as Matt around the league just because of the name. And it's a shorthanded way to say it. And he's a Gold Glove center fielder. He still is a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. He was a finalist last season, I think. And in the American League, he crushes left-handed pitching almost as well as Randall Grichuk. I mean, it's essentially a rounding error between the two. He's also a super fast runner, so he's a good stolen base threat. Just a notch. He's on like the Alec Thomas level, not quite the Corbin Carroll level, but right below that on the Alec Thomas level when it comes to speed. He's probably, it's kind of crazy saying this, he's probably a better fielder than Alec Thomas because he's got a better arm than Alec Thomas does. He can go and pick it just as well as Thomas. But with that said, because all of that is the situation, he's probably going to be the most expensive option on this list. And so I don't find it very likely, but you never know if no team wants to go sign a right-handed hitting center fielder for their team, if that's not an opening that he can find somewhere. The D-backs is a great place for him. He would start every single game against left-handers, and he'd probably find himself into a lot of games, just period, moving him in, playing him as a late game defensive substitute in the outfield, possibly for Gurriel. As much as we love him, he's the weakest outfielder of the three that are out there.
Really, Gurriel?
Yeah, he's still a perfectly average left fielder, defensive left fielder. It's just you got three guys who are fantastic center fielders. If you had Michael A. Taylor out there,
you just say that Corbin Carroll just can't really throw the ball.
No, I know that part, but you could move Carroll to left and then Michael A. Taylor bring into right field and have him close out the game out in right field. Gurriel go to the bench.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you could do that. You could have him come in and pinch run for any of their guys. He's great. Anytime you need a pinch hitter, obviously Grichuk falls into the same boat on as far as hitter is concerned. But Taylor brings a lot more options to the table if that's the case. But he's probably going to be more expensive. He was expected to get an $8 to $10 million contract when free agency started. He was he's the last center fielder of three right-handed hitting center fielders, Gold Glove caliber center fielders that the other two signed already, taking the two biggest teams with the biggest needs off the market. And he kind of doesn't really have a home right now to go to. And so he'd be a really great option to who knows, because all of these guys are still unsigned and they're all kind of redundant to a degree with each other, it might drive the price of all of them down, essentially making, I think best case scenario, if price didn't matter here, Matthew A. Taylor would be the pick. Easily, unquestionably, Matthew A. Taylor would be the pick. And then I would probably say, as much as I love Tommy Pham and the vibes and everything like that, from just a puzzle lineup fit, Grichuk would be the next best option.
Yeah.
Money doesn't matter. And then Tommy Pham. But if they got Pham over Grichuk, if Taylor was priced out of their price range and it came down to Grichuk or Pham, and they both cost the same, and they decided to go with Pham instead of Grichuk, I don't think it would be a terrible idea by any means.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I do think Adam Duvall is a wrong answer. I just don't think that's a good fit. He just does not hit left-handed pitching well enough to fit the needs of this team.
Yeah, and we don't really need like a center fielder or anything.
Yeah, we don't really need that.
Is he even fast?
Fast enough. Like, he's above average speed.
Okay.
He's a good fielder. He's more of a right fielder at this point in his career.
Yeah, that just doesn't seem like something they need.
It's mostly the even splits part. He just doesn't hit left-handers well enough. All these other guys, they all hit lefties pretty well. I mean, Matthew A. Taylor and Grichuk smash lefties. Pham hits them well enough. Duvall is pretty much a league average hitter versus left-handed pitching, and that's just not what we should be in the we shouldn't be shopping for that particular product at this point. So that's kind of it. When that's the right-handed hitter breakdown for those outfielders. I'm curious who you'd prefer to see. If you think Michael A. Taylor would also be the best fit, or if you think one of the other guys is a better fit for this team right now. That's really it, and we're gonna call it there because I got surgery in the morning. We got to get going, got to get this published and out. So thanks for checking us out once again. What do we want the people to do, Phoenix?
Share, bring out your inner kindergartner, and like and subscribe and just
comment,
do all the things.
Rate, review, do it all. We'd really appreciate it.
Actually, when this comes out, you're going to be editing. Well, actually, you're going to be uploading it in your bed while your knee is all.
That's right. I'm about to be working on that. Yep.
When you're broken.
Yep. When I'm broken.
And I'm probably going to be in school.
Yes. But nonetheless, appreciate it. And the best thing you could do is honestly tell a friend about it. That's the biggest thing. Like, you could share it on social media or whatever, but the best thing would be share it with a friend, someone that you think would dig our pod. And
we're sorry for being always like very late on our podcast and like our.
I'm not sorry at all.
Okay. That's your fault.
After surgery and once the season kicks in, we'll have regular episodes because we gotta recap all the stuff that happens all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we don't have not that much to talk about.
It has been a slow few weeks here in Dbacks land. So, all right. Peace.
We will see you guys later, and
let's go Dbacks.
Let's go. You didn't follow my finger. It was supposed.
Let's go Dbacks.
V-net.
Bye.
I don't think they heard that. I was like very far.
Nerding on the Dbacks. Woo!
Are we testing this?
No, go ahead.
Can we start over?